Well, welcome back everybody. It's been a long time since we've got a chance to get out on the fields, but that's exactly where we are. Myself, Martin, Peter are all back out on the fields in Perthshire. So this field has got a lot of history nearby, medieval, Iron Age, Bronze Age, and some post-medieval things as well. So we're quite hopeful we can turn up some things. Peter and Martin have already started, well ahead of me. So we'll go and check out what they've had. But before I do, they're on the other side of the field. Before I get to them, I've got my first signal right here. So let's see what we've got. Sounds pretty good. We'll give it a go. We're out the hole. I don't need my pinpointer because it's popped up there. And there we have a piece of metal. I cannot see any signs of any detail on it. I think we just put that down as a bit of junk. But let's go and see how the boys have got on so far. Two old Scottish coins for Pete. It looks like we've got a Bob E on the left, which is a 2p piece or tuppence, made of copper. It's not in great condition, can't really see any detail, but the other one is a turner. You can just make out a thistle there on one side. On the reverse, very difficult to see, but the letters C and R for Charles II. So that's going to put that coin sometime around about 1660s. Here's the highlight of Marty's finds, top right and bottom left. They're both coins of Charles I or Charles II, so we're back to the 1600s. And then we've got George III, George III, George III. The broken one looks like Queen Victoria. And he's got a couple of musket balls and a little pewter button. So I've picked the perfect time to come metal detecting. Oh my god, it's pouring down. Right, let's get this one found. So I struggled to find that there. I thought it was a silver coin. Oops, and I've dropped it. But it's not. It's a tomback button. So that's going to be sometime probably in the 1800s. And the weather is torrential. This is the glamorous side of metal detecting in Perthshire. We're currently hiding under a couple of bushes trying to stay as dry as we can, but we're both absolutely soaked. Stay tuned to see if we're stupid enough to carry on. I have returned. As you may have guessed, we had to abandon the metal detecting yesterday thanks to the torrential rain. The other guys are busy today working, but I am off, so I am back in the field. So they've had 4 coins from Charles II from this field, 2 turners and 2 bobbies. So they're copper 1p and 2p pieces. First signal, it's only taken me a minute. That's us out of the hole, carrot on. And there she is. It's not a coin. It's definitely a fragment of metal. So I've given it a little rub-a-dub. Doesn't seem to be any detail on it. Quite heavy, I think it's a piece of bronze. Who knows, a fragment of an ancient Bronze Age tool or just a piece of junk. Nice and crisp right about there. Sounds like a coin. Nice bit of pot there as well. A little bit of decorated porcelain, pottery, probably going to be 1900s. No pinpointer required, it's popped out there. Do you see what I see? Definitely looks like a coin. Quite a toasty coin. George the something, halfpenny maybe. There's a ship, you can just make out a ship, so that's a ship's halfpenny. Probably going to be sometime in the 1940s. That's the best I can do. Not in the best of condition. It's not even an old coin, so take my word for it, this is George VI. You can just see Georgius round this side, and the back is a little bit better. You can just make out the ship and the words halfpenny, and the date 1943 I think it is. Another good one. Oh, could it be another coin? Well, I hoped it was a coin, but it's not a coin because it's got a toothed edge. Let's give it a wee clean up. Looks like it's got holes in it as well. Well then, that's a curious looking item. Drilled with holes, which are still full of mud. I can't find anything to poke the mud out, but I am guessing that that is probably part of the mechanism from a pocket watch. Quite possibly. A sort of cog within the mechanism. What do you think? Sounds like a stick-on for a coin, but the last three that I've called have been tin foil or pieces of tin can, so let's see. We are out the hole. And it is a coin. Or a button. Is there a shank on the back? Not on that side. No, it's a coin. That's the back. Pretty much destroyed. Somewhere on there would be Britannia. In fact, that might be it there. See that there? It looks like her arm held up. But this side's better. Look at that. Georgius. Georgivs. And up here I can see 111. So it's George the Third. The madness of King George, who lost the American colonies and then later on lost his mind. So this will probably date to sometime between what, I think he was on the throne from 1760 until about 1820, give or take. Been a while without a decent signal. Oh. It's not the best, but I'm going to dig it anyway. Might be something quite small. So we're out the hole. It was very deep. It was about, what was it? It was about 7.5 inches, give or take. And it's out the hole, and it sounded a lot better. Is this on? No, it's not. It sounded a lot better once it came out. There it is there. Is it a coin or a button? Moment of truth. No shank. Looks like it might be copper. Could be a coin. I think it's a coin. Let's give it a clean up and see. So it is a coin. It's quite thin. Looking at the size of it and the fact it looks like it's made of copper, I would guess that it's either going to be Charles I or Charles II. It looks like the right thickness and the right dimensions, and the fact it's made of copper for a coin of Charles I or Charles II, which is called a bawbee. A bawbee was a 2p piece, so it would normally have a thistle on one side and the king's head on the other. Not sure, but I think I can almost make out a head there looking to the left. You might all think I'm just imagining it, but maybe I am. But that would put it sometime in the, when it was about 1620 Charles I took the throne. And then we had a period of the Commonwealth when Cromwell ran the country from about 1649 until about 1660. And then Charles II came back from France. So it's going to be sometime early to mid 1600s, I think. So that was the copper coin, possibly of Charles I or II. Spread out a little bit. I've started working around the area and got another signal here. Again, like the last one, it didn't sound great, so I didn't film it, but here popped up another coin. Or is it a button? Is there a shank? There is no shank. That is another coin. It looks like it's another copper one. Nice and thin. It looks smaller than the last coin. Could it be one of the little turners with a little thistle on it? Let's give it a clean up and see. So it's pretty corroded, but if you look very closely at the bottom, you should just be able to make out two letters, a C and an R side by side. So that stands for Charles Rex, so King Charles. So this is, again, it's a coin of either Charles the First or Charles the Second. On the reverse, there would be a thistle in the middle, which I'm struggling to see. Might clean up a little bit better when I get home, but around the edges it would say Nemo me impune lacessit, which basically means who dare meddle with me, or don't strike me with impunity, words to that effect. Basically, don't mess with me or I'll mess right back at you. And this is a turner, so it's a copper 1 pence. Charles the First. So he was on the throne from about 1625, and he had his head chopped off in 1649 by Parliament. Oliver Cromwell took control, and the restoration of his son Charles II took place in 1660. So that is very promising. Very promising. So fingers crossed, two coins of King Charles relatively close together. Hopefully more to come. And that's the two coins side by side. So on the left hand side, what I think is a bobby, which is a 2 pence. And on the right hand side, a turner, which is, if I remember rightly, a penny. So fingers crossed, there's more to be had. But certainly someone was here sometime in the early 1600s with a hole in their pocket. Nice sound. That little patch just there is where I got the first coin. There is where I got the second one. This sounds a lot better. Here's hoping this is the hammered silver coin of Charles the First or Second. I did say hammered silver, but I'd be happy to take hammered gold as well. And we're out the hole. No. It is a coin. It is a coin. Let's give it a bit of a clean up. It doesn't look like it's a Charles. It looks too modern, but we'll see. Well, it's definitely a coin. It is definitely not Charles the First or Second. I'm really struggling to see anything on it. The soil here just isn't good for these coins. Some of the worst coins I've ever had. Even the one from the 1940s was pretty toasted. I would guess it's going to be Georgian. I would say probably George III, and it's probably going to be a halfpenny. Anyone make any detail out on that? I've moved away from the Charles the First or Second coins. Nothing more doing. That's a good signal. Well worth a dig. So far it's been tin foil and bits of lead, so let's see how we get on. Do you see what I see? Just broke out the clod. Is it another coin? I think it bloody well is. And you know what? I think it's another Charles. I think it's another turner. Let's give it a clean up and see. It certainly looks the right thickness. Let's see what we've got. That's the best I can do. It is toast. However, it is definitely another turner. So it's a copper coin. It's going to be Charles the First or Charles the Second, sometime between 1625 and about 1680. I think Charles II was on the Torrential. Not as good as the last one, but I'm only 3 or 4 metres away, so we'll give it a go. Alas, not a coin of Charles, just a little piece of lead. Well, in the ground this one didn't sound great, but out of the ground it sounds a lot better. Here's hoping for the gold hammered coin. No. No. I'm rubbish at using this thing. I really am. See, it's there. I've dropped it there. Is that it? There we are. That's it. I can feel some weight in there. It looks like a little metal, or looks more like copper or copper alloy stud. Probably would have been fitted through leather. It's got this kind of recess in the middle, which is probably where it was punched through leather. Not 100%, but that's what I'm thinking. A little bit erratic. It might just be shallow, or it might just be junk, but we'll soon find out. We are out the hole. Here's my chance to embarrass myself using this pinpointer. Ho ho, there we go. Got some green. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything overly good, to be honest. And that is definitely it. What do we have? Is that a keyhole? It is a keyhole. So it's a keyhole. You can make out on the back the studs, two little rivets that would have attached it to timber. Doesn't look hugely substantial. It's probably off of like a writing desk or something like that. And the rivets have obviously been iron, which is why it's corroded at the top. There's an old Georgian house just behind that hedge there. So in the old days, when you didn't want a piece of furniture, you just brought it into the edge of the field and you set it on fire. And the only parts that remain are the metal fitments. So I suspect that's what that is. Failing that, this may well be off a treasure chest. And we're about to find a massive haul of Charles the First and Second gold and silver coins. A much crisper sound. Sounds like it could be a coin. So we're out the hole. This is doing the same as before. What is going on with this thing? Right, where were we? We're out the hole. We're out the hole, and yet again I can't find it. Ah, we're in there. Yep, we're in there. Right, we've got a little clod. I love a little clod. Don't see anything obvious. Two halves. Which half? Oh, there we go. We've got silver right there. That looks like a coin. Not hammered. It's milled. V11. Edward the 7th. That's Bertie, Queen Victoria's son. Don't get many of him, certainly not in silver. It's a threepence. And there he is. Bertie, or Edward the 7th to give him his official title. So he ruled after his mother, Queen Victoria, from 1901 till 1910 or thereabouts. This is going to be sometime hopefully between those dates, otherwise I'm talking rubbish. There we go, 1902, so pretty much at the start of his reign. Let's give it a wee clean up. Edward the 7th, DG, which means Dei Gratia, by the grace of God. Brit Omne Rex Fidelity Ind Imp. So basically it means Edward the 7th, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. Because India was part of the British Empire back then. Little letters or numbers just below the bust, but my eyesight is not that good. And on the reverse, 1902, and it is a silver threepence or 3p piece. So fantastic. Silver coin, always great to get. Edward the 7th, as I said, his nickname was Bertie. He was the oldest son of Queen Victoria and her husband Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg. Prince Albert died relatively young, not long after he married Queen Victoria. And Edward the 7th didn't live that long. He was on the throne for 9 years after his mother passed away. He was a bit of a playboy in his younger days. Drank a lot, smoked like a chimney. I think he smoked something like 40 cigarettes and 20 cigars a day. And he died, I think, it was either his late 50s or his late 60s. Unfortunately, I think the big C caught up with him. So there we go, lovely coin, silver, and I'm only detecting for another half an hour, so great way to round it off. Good signal. It's either going to be tin foil or aluminium or a coin, or it might be none of them. It's a piece of lead. Junk. So there we go, that's the extent of 4 hours of searching, or this is the best bits. At the end here we've got 3 coins. These all look like they're either Charles I or Charles II, so that puts them somewhere between 1625 and 1680, give or take. They're all copper. The 2 smaller ones I believe are turners or tuppences, or is it pennies? And the bigger one is a bawbee, which is either a tuppence or a 4p. So then we got the Edward the 7th, that's the current Queen's father. What we think is a crusty Georgian. This is another George the 3rd, so that's going to be sometime between 1760 and 1820. Possibly the part of a watch mechanism, pocket watch mechanism. Beautiful little silver coin, 1902, which is Edward the 7th, the son of Queen Victoria. The little tomback button, I got that yesterday when the rain came on and fled. A little bit of pottery and a little piece of glass I picked up with the letters O-W-R-I-E, Owrie, maybe Gowrie, or maybe even Blair Gowrie, which is a town about 15 miles away from here. So there we go, not bad for a wee 4-hour session, and it looks like it's about to pour down, so it's a good time to go. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll see more videos of us now that the fields are all starting to become available. We're also planning on going to Detectorville down in South Gloucestershire, I think it is, in September, so we're gearing up for that. Okay, thanks for watching, take care.